The S&P 500, or simply the S&P, is a stock market index that measures the stock performance of 500 large companies listed on stock exchanges in the United States. It is one of the most commonly followed equity indices. The S&P 500 index is a capitalization-weighted index, and the 10 largest companies in the index account for 27.5% of the market capitalization of the index. The 10 largest companies in the index, in order of weighing, are Apple Inc., Microsoft, Amazon.com, Facebook, Alphabet Inc., Tesla, Inc., Berkshire Hathaway, JP Morgan Chase & Co., and Johnson & Johnson. For a list of the components of the index, see List of S&P 500 companies. The components that have increased their dividends in 25 consecutive years are known as the S&P 500. Dividend aristocrats. 25 index funds that track the S&P 500 have been recommended as investments by Warren Buffett, Burton Malkiel, and John C. Bogle for investors with long-time horizons. Although the index includes only companies listed in the United States, companies in the index derive on average only 72% of their revenue in the United States. The index is one of the factors in computation of the Conference Board Leading Economic Index, used to forecast the direction of the economy. The index is associated with many ticker symbols, including GSPC, INS, and $SPX, depending on market or website. The index value is updated every 15 seconds, or 1,559 times per trading day, with price updates disseminated by Reuters. The S&P 500 is maintained by S&P Dow Jones Indices, a joint venture majority owned by S&P Global, and its components are selected by a committee. The easiest way to invest in the S&P 500 is to buy an index fund, either a mutual fund or an exchange-traded fund that replicates, before fees and expenses, the performance of the index by holding the same stocks as the index, in the same proportions. Exchange-traded funds and State Street Corporation. These can be purchased via any electronic trading platform or stockbroker. In addition, mutual funds that track the index are offered by several issuers including Fidelity Investments, T. Rowe Price, and Charles Schwab Corporation. Diaction offers leveraged ETFs that attempt to produce 3x the daily result of either investing in or shorting the S&P 500 index. In the derivatives market, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange offers futures contracts that track the index and trade on the exchange flow in an open outcry auction, or on CME's Globex platform, and are the exchange's most popular product. Ticker symbols are SP for the full-sized contract and S for the A-mini S&P contract that is 1/5 the size of SP. In May 2019, the CME started trading a micro A-mini futures contract that is 1/10 the size of the S&P A-mini contract, i.e. 1/50 the size of the full-sized contract. The micro A-mini S&P 500 index contract's ticker symbol is MES. The Chicago Board Options Exchange offers options on the S&P 500 index as well as on S&P 500 index ETFs, inverse ETFs, and leveraged ETFs. In 1860, Henry Varnum Poor formed Poor's Publishing, which published an investor's guide to the railroad industry. In 1923, Standard Statistics Company began rating mortgage bonds and developed its first stock market index, consisting of the stocks of 233 U.S. companies, computed weekly. In 1926, it developed a 90-stock index, computed daily. In 1941, Poor's Publishing merged with Standard Statistics Company to form Standard & Poor's. On March 4, 1957, the index was expanded to its current 500 companies and was renamed the S&P 500 Stock Composite Index. In 1962, Ultronic Systems became the compiler of the S&P indices including the S&P 500 Stock Composite Index, the 425 Stock Industrial Index, the 50 Stock Utility Index, and the 25 Stock Rail Index. On August 31, 1976, the Vanguard Group offered the first mutual fund to retail investors that tracked the index. On April 21, 1982, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange began trading futures based on the index. On July 1, 1983, Chicago Board Options Exchange began trading options based on the index. On January 22, 1993, the Standard & Poor's Depository Receipts Exchange Traded Fund issued by State Street Corporation began trading. On September 9, 1997, CME Group introduced the S&P A Mini Futures Contract. In 2005, the index transitioned to a public float adjusted capitalization weighing. Like other indices managed by S&P Dow Jones Indices, but unlike indices such as the Russell 1000 which are strictly rule-based, the components of the S&P 500 index are selected by a committee. When considering the eligibility of a new addition, the committee assesses the company's merit using 8 primary criteria: market capitalization, liquidity, domicile, public float, global industry classification standard, and representation of the industries in the economy of the United States, financial viability, length of time publicly traded, and stock exchange. Over the past few years, there has been a decline in the